Hey, what's up guys? Another video here. So today I want to talk about how not everyone can be the boss. So our current system is set up in a way where there's a boss and employees obviously. However, school conditions you to be an employee and follow the herd. So let me give you a quick example. Obviously, a teacher is going to give you a prompt or a task or homework and you have to complete it by X date or Y deadline, and if you don't do it, you're punished. So in that sense, it conditions you to be an employee slash follower as opposed to a leader. And if everyone was a boss, there will be no clear vision or direction, as the organization or team will be pulled into different directions, and that in turn will cause chaos, wasted time, and effort. So if you have multiple leaders, what's going to happen is there's going to be divergence, there's going to be factions, and there's going to be no clear direction or vision when you have multiple people having different ideologies or different visions as far as how the company goes. So it's best to have a singular leader creating this vision or direction so people aren't pulled and ultimately wasting their time and resources at the job. Obviously, management will be paid higher, but that can be often due to cronyism, nepotism, brown nosing, backstabbing, manipulations, or whatever reasons. So let me give you a quick example of this. I had a staff manager in the past. Of course, she was very nice and kind and generally a people person, but she was grossly underqualified when it came to knowledge. So obviously, when you have management, hopefully they know more than the more novice members of the team, but I think this creates a weird power imbalance when you have management that doesn't know as much as their junior members. And oftentimes she would come to me for advice or some kind of quirk in the database that she couldn't get. However, she was there at the job 15, around 15 years more than me. So she should have known this, but she couldn't pick it up, and obviously, she couldn't pass the certification exams, which I did pass later on within 8 months. Normally it takes 2 3 years, but again, I did it fairly quickly. But it does create an issue where you feel that you have management that's not generally qualified as far as knowledge goes or ability goes, and that creates a huge issue as far as respect and as far as the imbalance when it comes to the relationship between a superior and a junior member of the team. So you have to keep in mind, because there is this hierarchy of the manager and the employee, obviously they're not going to be paid the same. If they were paid the same, then of course labor costs will be out of control. So in that sense, obviously you can't have the similar pay brackets for management and an employee. Obviously there's going to be less management and more employees, so the employees will be on the lower end of the pay scale. So you don't have to fret if you don't become the boss. Obviously it's going to come down to a lot of politics, but you can definitely be financially better off than your boss with habits and investing, because bosses can be more susceptible to lifestyle creep. So when they become a boss, they may end up having a family, they may end up having more expenditures, they may want to have a better car, better house, things like that. So in that sense, they are more prone to have this lifestyle creep because obviously they're going to have a higher salary. So let me give you another example of this. So within the same unit, I had a senior manager above my staff manager, and again, she was making around 130,000, so she was making way more than us. And the company was stupid enough to reveal all the salaries, so I was able to look at everyone's salaries. But anyways, what happened was, because she was a single mom, like I alluded to in a previous video, she didn't have her finance managed well, and for some reason she wasn't getting child support, so she was raising two daughters by herself on the salary. But of course, her being insecure all the time, she would scream that she would have like 20,000 credit card debt. She was living with her mom for a long time because of the divorce. Apparently, she didn't have a place to stay. So what happened was she moved into the condo complex outside of, or right across our work building, and those condo complexes were absurdly expensive. So 3,000 plus a month. So she was spending a lot of resources on her children because obviously she wasn't getting any child support, and she was spending a huge amount on living expense because of the convenience of where she was living. So when you are a manager, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to maintain this lifestyle, and that definitely doesn't mean that you're going to be savvy with your resources and resourceful with what you already have as far as your salary goes. So never think of yourself as a deficit because you don't know the situation and you don't know if they're really hardlining with their budget, investing, things like that. So again, don't fret if you don't become the boss. You definitely have a chance to be financially successful if you don't become the boss with a higher salary, because you really have to stick to the path and you have to invest wisely and save as much as you can in order for you to be better off financially, again, even more so than the boss. So just to recap here, our system is set up in a way where there's a boss and employees, and school will condition you in this way where you become a follower as opposed to a leader. Again, if everyone was boss, what's going to happen is there's going to be no clear vision, and it's going to in turn cause chaos, wasted time and effort. Management obviously will be paid higher, but again, it can be due to cronyism, nepotism, brown nosing, backstabbing, manipulation, and they may not be generally suited for the job or even deserve the job. There may be better qualified people, but it's really due to politicking and favoritism when it comes to hiring a manager in that role. And if you don't become the boss, definitely don't take that as a bad sign. If you stick with the path, invest, and be really wise with your resources, then there's no reason for you not to become successful in the long run. So anyways, thanks guys for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.